Rev up your engines! Who would gain if they paused the gas tax that Biden suggested? Well, as we can see, Biden's not gaining anything. Everybody's saying, what a stupid idea. That's not going to help us at all. And it turns out only a small portion of the tax that was stopped would be passed on to consumers, to us. It appears that it would help people, but really, I mean, how are you going to build the infrastructure while you're getting less tax? How's it going to be paid for, right? Congress is the one that passes the laws to take the tax on or off, right? Biden can't. He's not king. He can't say, we will suspend the tax regime. It doesn't work that way, right? And of course, the radical people on the left say, oh, it doesn't go far enough. We don't like it. It doesn't go far enough. And the other people say, well, it goes too far. And of course, Nancy Pelosi prefers. They go after legislation to penalize price gouging by the oil companies. Yeah. Ha ha. Try collecting money from that. Yeah. How could you prove? They would just say, here's our cost. It costs us more to do this, so we have to pass it on. We got to pay for all these new costs that we have. Find people and take them to court. That's a real great way to solve anything. If I learned anything in my life is you want to stay away from court as much as you possibly can. I actually went to court a few times for my customers who were suing people who had screwed them over. The years that it took them to finally get a small amount of money wasn't worth the aggravation of going back in court. They used me as an expert witness to show the other guy had screwed them over. All the aggravation that they went through to do that and the time, money that was wasted could be better spent on other things than going to court to sue people for stuff. And of course, as you realize, the gas companies control the price of gasoline. They may say it's not a monopoly, but it obviously is, right? So if they took that tax off, they'd probably just raise the gas even higher. They'd make more money. Say, well, they were paying $5 before, it goes down 25 cents. What the heck? We'll raise it back up to $5.25. What do we care? Yeah. And here's the hilarious thing, because you got to think in terms of volume, right? If talking about taxes. If they did it through December, they do it for 3 months, right? It'd save the average person between $16 and $47 on gas, right? But it would lower the federal tax by $20 billion, which you could do a lot with, right? He wants to build back better, but where's the money coming from? Well, we're getting $20 billion less than we got before. Do they ever even think of the ramifications of their acts other than knee-jerk BS reaction, try to make it look good? Get that little 10-second clip about I'm helping America, while he's doing nothing at all. And of course, if you know anything about capitalist system, if the price went down and then people actually bought more, when there's more demand, they raise the price. That's capitalism. People want things more and it's a limited amount, they'll raise the price on it, which obviously they've been doing, so. The whole idea is plain stupid. It just follows up on the normalcy of stupidity in politics today. Volcano H says, should repossessed cars for sale by the lender be avoided? My 2015 Mazda 3 was totaled. I'm having a hard time finding good cars, and I see these lenders are selling repo cars. What do you think? Numero uno, I'm not a fan for one big reason. It's a repoed car. Okay, that means somebody bought the car, didn't pay for it, and the bank or whoever repoed it, right? Do you think somebody who didn't even pay the note on the car is going to maintain it, change the oil, take care of it? Of course not, right? It's kind of a red flag. Don't buy one of these. Now, on the other hand, you never really know. If you know a mechanic like me that you can pay to check the vehicle out before you buy it, it could be a good vehicle, especially if it's a Toyota that all they need is oil changes. Somebody bought it, got in a pinch, couldn't pay it, and just let them take it back. You never know. If you can save a lot of money on a deal, and a mechanic like me says it's a good deal, yeah, personally, I'm very leery. Because, like I said, if somebody has a car and they don't pay for it, it gets repoed, you think they really took care of that car? They probably know, well, I'm not going to pay on this thing. I'll run it to the curbs. Who cares? I'll never change the oil. So it kind of leaves a bad taste in the back of my mouth. Unless you're saving a whole bunch of money and you got a good mechanic to check it out, I kind of stay away from repo cars. Jisoo says, I think my BMW is running rich. Well, they are. They're for rich people. You throw money into those things like water into a bucket with holes in it. Got a 2013 BMW F10 528i. 4-cylinder turbo engine. Acceleration's not good. Fuel economy isn't. The muffler tailpipe is black. I'm suspecting a catalytic converter. I've changed various parts, MAF sensor, oxygen sensor, spark plugs, injectors, and ignition coils. Could be a bad catalytic converter, but they're easy to test. If your catalytic converter is clogged up, causing it to run rich, any mechanic worth their salt, you can learn how to do it yourself, yourself. It's not hard. You can take the oxygen sensors off before the catalytic converters. Put in a pressure gauge. If it's got excessive pressure, it's clogged and they need replacing. It's a simple thing to do because there's supposed to be hardly any back pressure. So if you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pounds back pressure, it means they're clogged up. And that will make a car run rich. It'll make it black. It'll do all kinds of things. Many things can do it, though, but that's the easy thing to test. That's the easiest thing to test. Other than that, you'd have to get a guy like me, put his BMW computer on, look at how are the fuel injectors firing, how many milliseconds, are any of them off, do a pressure drop test on the injectors to see if any of them have a leak in the system somewhere. A lot of stuff can happen, but testing the cats is easy. Take out the oxygen sensors and do the back pressure test. The pressure's high, they're clogged up, and they need replacing. My catalytic converters were stolen in my 2021 Tundra. They took all 4 of them. I've been asking muffler shops, they can do a straight pipe. They said they can't do it due to EPA regulations. Can I put a flex pipe to lower the noise? It's so loud. You got a 2021 Tundra. You have to have insurance, right? You have to. Your insurance is going to pay for it, right? Now, if you got to wait a long time, go ahead, put a flex pipe up on yourself just to drive it around until the insurance pays for it. You know, those 4 cats cost a small fortune, but sure, you're covered. And if you're covered, they're going to pay. And you can do it at your car. You can do whatever you want for the time being. You could just stick pipes on it, get a flex pipe, bolt it on, cover it up. You can at least drive it around. It'll run okay. You probably get lights come on the dash, but it would run okay. And with parts shortage, what they are today, it might be months before you can get the catalytic converters so you can legally drive the car around, waiting for your insurance company to pay for it. So sure, go ahead and do it yourself. But you can't blame the exhaust shops because they could get thrown in jail for doing that. It's called bypassing the catalytic converters. So, you know, if you want to do it yourself, go right ahead. And then when the insurance pays, just have the whole thing put on and they'll pay for it because, you know, there's no way to have insurance. It's a new vehicle, so your insurance is going to pay for it. And you got to wait. You might as well put something on so you can drive it around because it's dangerous. You get carbon monoxide, loud on your ears, and at least it'll be quiet for a while. And as long as you know that your car inspected between now and when the cats come in, because it would fail the inspection when it's time to inspect it. So you wouldn't be able to drive it then legally without the sticker. But if your sticker's months and months ahead of time for the test, go ahead and do it. Well, if you're one of those people who doesn't like people riding around dirt bikes and all-terrain vehicles on your streets, well, Mayor of New York's done something about it. He just bulldozed 100 dirt bikes and ATVs that were captured illegally in New York City. Now, they call it the nuisance of off-road vehicles, terrorizing the city. Of course, he's a politician, so you expect him to exaggerate just about everything when they do something like, oh, this is the savior of society, taking these dirt bikes and ATVs and running over them with a bulldozer, of course. More PR BS. Oh, crush it with a bulldozer. Look. Now, last year in New York City, they confiscated 900 illegal dirt bikes and ATVs. Now, you figure there's, 7.5 million people or something, so it's really a spit in the bucket. And a lot of them were stolen outside in suburbia and then brought into the city illegally. The mayor talked about quality of life and they're improving it. They got problems in the subways. Taking a few dirt bikes and ATVs off the road is going to change society all that much. You know, it's dramatic. Just like when I was young, they had all this big deal that everyone was afraid the Hells Angels were going to come and take over. I grew up in Niagara Falls. People were even worried about it there. Like, they're going to drive all the way from California to Niagara Falls to terrorize people, right? But people actually were afraid that this was going to happen. Something about, especially motorcycles, off-road vehicles, scare people with this myth of the hordes are coming, like the Mongol hordes are coming to take over. 3285 says, how do I fix my exhaust system? Ford decided to go on a cheapie for their EV car production in Europe. They nixed building them in Germany. They are using Spain to make their electric vehicles. Just like GM, they don't want Americans building cars. They're building tons of them in Mexico, where they can pay $6.85, not an hour, for an entire 12-hour day. $6.85. Well, I'm sure the price of labor in Spain is a heck of a lot cheaper than it is in Germany. Interesting. Two Spanish-speaking countries. Now, I don't know anything about the quality of Spanish production. I know the quality of Mexican production is crap. Maybe they'll have the same problems in Spain as they do in Mexico, like the Broncos they're making in Mexico. Maybe the electric vehicles they'll make in Spain will have problems too. Who knows? They say that they're going to shut down their German plant in 2025, which makes Focus passenger cars, right? I love their doublespeak. Here's what Ford says about the plant in Germany, that they're only going to build cars until 2025. We are evaluating future site opportunities beyond that. In other words, they want to sell the land to somebody else to do something with it. And of course, the car companies love the idea of electric cars because they can trim their workforce. It takes many less labor hours to produce an electric car than a gasoline car because it's so much simpler. It doesn't have all the transmissions and ignition systems and fuel systems that gasoline cars do. In reality, guess what, people? They're actually cheaper to make, even though they're charging more money for them. Of course, they like the idea of it. More profit for them. An easier, cheaper to build vehicle that they can charge more money for. And then build them like, instead of Mexico, build them in Spain. Realize this electrical vehicle production in Spain isn't even going to start until 2025. So a lot can happen between now and 2025, but they're already planning on cutting their labor, going from Germany to Spain because it's cheaper, obviously. Their partners in crime there, in Europe at least, Volkswagen, says they're going to make EV production in Spain too, starting in 2025. And they're also going to produce electric batteries in Valencia, Spain too. And that's Volkswagen. As it stands now, this is for the European market, but who knows who's going to buy and sell what. Who knows what's going to happen with these electric vehicles? And anyway, by 2025, things could radically change. We don't know. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.